Hey everyone, it's James at Yoreevo with our September 2021 Manhattan market update, and pretty much everything that we thought was going to happen last month did play out, but that's not really that impressive because September is always a very slow month with very clear seasonal trends. So if we look at the contract activity, we were still up 60% relative to the 2017 to 2019 average. You can see September is usually the trough of the year, and then it pops up in October and November for contract activity. That's basically listings going up in September, buyers finding them, and then buyers going into contract 2 weeks or so after they get the accepted offer. So here's that chart that we've been pulling up the last couple months to compare this month both to the 2017 to 2019 average here in the blue, and then also versus the previous peak. So we're actually at the highs relative to the previous peak, but I wouldn't read too much into that. We're basically bouncing around that 50 to 60% increase year over year compared to the 2017 to 2019 average. So here's the growth by price point. It's all over the place. I wouldn't read too much into this though. These numbers tend to be erratic. It's a relatively small sample size, especially in September with less contract activity, but across the board we're seeing strong results. And I guess it's worth pausing here for a second to say the contract activity is strong, but that doesn't mean pricing activity is strong. Basically, we have a much more liquid market, but that doesn't mean that pricing is going up. It just means that buyers are buying and sellers are selling, but the prices aren't going up. So we'll touch on pricing in a minute, but don't take the higher contract activity as an indicator for pricing. It's certainly encouraging, but they're two separate things. Here is the contract activity by week, and no surprise with fewer contracts being signed in September. We also had fewer weekly contracts being signed. The thing we were really watching for this month was the bump in inventory. And we did see a bump. We saw inventory go up about 13% month over month, but that's about half of what we normally see. So you can see here we did pop up just like we normally see, but it was less than the normal seasonal increase. So it's something, but not quite what we would normally expect. Here's the inventory by price point, and it's up across the board, but again, nothing really too noteworthy here. And then on pricing, we're probably just gonna plot along. We're not really seeing much of a change. It's the same thing we've been saying for the last couple months where downtown is stronger, midtown and financial district are pretty weak, and then uptown, Upper West Side, Upper East Side, they're okay. So I'm not expecting much to change there. We are going to see a bit of an increase in activity over the next 2 months, but it's the end of the year. We're probably just going to plot along at this level, and then we'll see what happens in the spring. So if you have any questions about specific parts of the market, your search, or just random real estate questions, as always, feel free to reach out to us at info@yoreevo.com, and we will see you next month. Thanks a lot. Bye.